And here we are. Hi, everybody. How's it going? MJ here, and at the Jarjar Store. And yeah, loud, raucous afternoon. I have a confession to make. I've been using Heckle. I feel like I've been cheating. Because I worked a long time to get my 326 followers on this channel, and you know, it's not about followers, but sometimes I feel like everything is just lost in the noise. Let me show you something here. Is my daughter's school bus, which means she's home now. But look at this. Hustle and bustle. People across the street here. Hey Dave, fist bump. Yeah, they are. I agree. So we got over here. You know what? I gotta work on the gimbal. Is really touchy. I gotta slow it down. That's a fruit vendor over there. The duck truck is next to me to the right. And over there, wow. I gotta adjust this. That is the infamous hamburger truck. And I got 2 of them today. And boy, they were nice. And what I did was, I know I said, I felt like I was cheating. I have my 12 string with me. I've been doing a lot of work on it. I may actually file the nut slots down some more. We had such good success with it. I noticed it was slightly detuning, but it's so much more playable. Night and day, unbelievable. And I have to admit, I played it on Heckle. Okay, that's the one that has the breading all around it. They pour the batter into the mold, and it forms like a square. It's round, but it's squared off. It's flat, top and bottom. And they put the pork meat in the center, and the pork meat is kind of like the same that you'd have like in gyoza, you know, with it's pork and scallions and garlic and stuff. Yeah, really cool. Yes, they're really good. There they are. So I was enjoying that today with a couple San Miguel beers over at the park. And now I'm drinking Leo. These beers are so light. You have a little food, just stretch them out. It's nice. A lot of action, man. A lot. I have to remember to adjust the gimbal because it's like, whoa. I'm used to the other one. Of course, you can adjust them, but it recently did a software update, and I guess I didn't check it. And lately I've been using the tracking. It's great. It works excellent on Heckle. I really wish that the Prism Live Studio team would get on board with that, because Heckle shows a mirror image, so it's more comfortable for the broadcaster, because that's what we're used to. But the video going out is real. And a Prism kind of switch for that. Then I can use the tracking, because the front camera would be flipped for the tracking view, and it would be real for the stream. Now we talked about this. We've talked about this enough. I'm eating some wasabi cashews. Oh my goodness, these are $3. And the problem is, I made a mistake of rubbing my eye. Can only be so stupid, right? So I take my alcohol and I clean my hands off. Get rid of any trace of that. Should be okay. Anyway, that gets better. I don't see how it would. I don't see how it would, because all it is an encoder. It just starts the stream. In my imagination, my understanding of how it works is that, it's the triggering of the live stream that tells the system to, set a notification. It shouldn't matter what it was, whether it was like a, premiere, which would be a video that you uploaded and the system did it, particular time, or it could be a time broadcast from Restream. Could be you using the YouTube app. It's really funny. I'll tell you something. I used the YouTube app like twice, way back. I'm talking like 2007, 17. And then they changed the, the minimum number, and they've been goofing around with that. So I'll look for other solutions like Streamlabs. Eventually found Prism. And I didn't even know that YouTube moved it back down, because they realized they set the bar too high. But I mean, it's a good question. I think the answer is no. I don't see how it would. But it's a worthwhile question to post and see if see what Jake says. Jake, of course, is the lead developer for the Android version. Really? That very interesting. That may be a reflection more on Twitter and how they operate, because you know how protective they were, and how, what I'm talking about. Twitter sometimes acted like a bunch of nasty kids, on your block. And if you didn't, if they didn't like what you were doing, they would take their toys and go home. But that's interesting. So that wouldn't surprise me. Now, whether or not YouTube or Twitter Live or others are still doing that, that's a really, really good question. The problem is, hard to quantify a test. Because if you do a series of tests one after another, well, what you'd have to do, you'd have to come on each platform separately and tell people over the next 30 minutes I'm going to be doing several tests about 5 minutes apart. And give them a way to contact you. DM me on Twitter or whatever. And so the very first broadcast that you do on all the platforms is just to inform people. And then 10 minutes later you go live with the first ones. Test broadcast number 1, did you get a notification? Yes, no. Test broadcast number 2, did you get a notification? Yes, no. Really? Only on Twitter? Or is that on YouTube also? I gotta tell you, it sounds like an antitrust lawsuit, if you ask me. Man, the more I hear you and others talking about Twitter Live, the happier I am that I'm not using it. I mean, I think it's just... there's a beautiful yellow Mustang. Only on Twitter, okay. That doesn't surprise me just because, we know who they are. I'm going to do this because I don't know where this Mustang's going to go. Let me see if this is 2. There's a... Can't see it, but right behind that motorcycle helmet, the yellow Mustang. I'm going to try to follow one. Oh, he's going to turn. There he is. There he is, right there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Looks great. All right. Nothing. From what I heard from the Twitter files, the stuff that Elon Musk has revealed, I mean, that's just the stuff that he's told us about. Absolutely nothing that Twitter has done or is doing would shock me. I'd find it interesting, but yeah, it was cool. Now, guys know I like the Nissan GTR. There's a couple other sports cars that I like, but I would sell for one of those. I like the new 86, the Toyota. That's a cute car. But yeah, that was nice. I'm gonna go like this. That thing over there kind of blocks it, but got a good cross section of the neighborhood. I'll tell you something very interesting about the iOS version of Prism I just noticed. You guys know that when you're using Prism Live Studio and you press the red button in the middle of the screen, that is the broadcast timer that tells you how long you've been on the air. If you press that, it expands and shows you the viewers on the different platforms. On Android, in order to access the camera, you have to press that button again and hide the viewers. I'm able to change the camera and leave that viewable. Thing is though, as much as I'm enjoying this iPhone, when I see some of the updates and things that they're doing, I realize I never could have switched to it 3 or 4 years ago. because a lot of functionality is rudimentary. I still don't know how you guys can type messages. I mean, it takes me so long to type a message because if I want to edit a word, I can't just tap the word and put the cursor there. Hey Joey, how's it going, bro? Fist bump. Yeah, and if I tap the word, you know, it highlights it and tries to give me a thesaurus and like, oh my gosh, just, you know, I gotta press the space bar and hold it and try to navigate the cursor. It's like, my God, how can you guys put up with that? So I installed the Google keyboard and it's crippled. I got a question. iPhone users, how in the world can you exist without a keyboard that has a dedicated number row and long press buttons for all punctuation? How can you live like that? I saw when I switched my iPhone, I saw the all original keyboard and I said, oh my God, it's all letters. It's all letters. And to do anything, I gotta press a button. And then I gotta press it again if I want something like a hashtag. These are all long presses, so. Hey Joey, that sounds about like the time I hit the rack, man. I've been staying up late. I was in the studio all night last night. But in all fairness, I'm finishing up the album Sunset Phones for Paul Clark. It'll be on Spotify probably in about 45 days. And I'm still writing new tunes. I'm just so busy doing other studio work, I haven't really been recording, but I did spend some time last night. I spent about 2 hours in the studio between 1 and 3 a.m. and I cut some 12-string guitar tracks on a new tune I'm writing. I got my 12-string right here. I did a lot of work on it recently, and man, that sounds amazing. The nut slots were not deep enough, so I had to press down on the strings harder than normal, and it detuned them. And with 12-string guitars, with one finger, you're actually pressing two strings instead of one. And what happens is the octave string is more easily influenced because it's thinner. And so I would have like an open G, and the two strings were in tune. But I would press down, 2 frets up and try to make an A. And the octave string would be noticeably sharp. It made me mad. I worked around that for years. And then I discovered The Cure on YouTube University. So there you go. You guys know me, I'm an engineer, and I got micrometers and calipers and feeler gauges and stuff, so I knew the principles. So I just got some of those diamond encrusted nut slot files. Oh, they're amazing. It actually sounds really good, Dave. The thing is, Heckle Audio is horrible. He's got to do something about that. Using my wireless mic like I am now, with the lightning adapter into the new iPhone, it's mono in Prism because it's a mono signal. If I unplug the dongle, the adapter, you'll be listening in stereo on the two mics of the phone. Of course, the traffic will be overwhelming. That's why I'm using a clip-on lavalier, right? You know what I'm saying, the transmitter, right? But with Heckle, it doesn't matter what you use. It all sounds terrible because of the algorithm. It's just, Periscope used to do strange things. You guys remember Jake Freeman? Jake Freeman was one of those DJs on Periscope that he would play all kinds of copyrighted music. Yeah, it is bad. As a DJ, right, on Periscope. And, excuse me. I contacted him once. Excuse me, I'm burping like crazy. I said, according to U.S. copyright law, and I quoted chapter and verse so he can look at it. I said, every single instance of what you're doing is worth $100,000 to somebody if they want to sue you. He didn't seem too worried about it, but he discovered that if you used an iPhone and a lightning connector and you went into Periscope with a lightning connector, that it was actually in stereo. He's the first guy that I know of that broadcast in Periscope on stereo. And that proved that the codec they were using is stereo. It's just that the engineers didn't bother to use both microphones on the phone. Now, let me explain how this works. If you take two signals and you reverse the polarity of one, you put them together, they cancel, right? Everybody knows that. They call it phase cancellation, but it's actually, it was. But but it makes sense, because who would make a monaural codec in the 21st century? So plus one added to minus one is zero. So you guys know what I'm saying. If you got two signals, and you've seen this before, like if you had a stereo with a bum cable and try to plug it in, the kick, the snare, the vocal, everything is in the center, because they're what we call common mode. It's gone. All you hear is the sides. Mobile phone works that way because you got two microphones, one at the top of the phone and one at the bottom. They're reverse polarity. So what happens is any of the noise that reaches both of the microphones at the same amplitude, that is ambient noise, is canceled. But because you hold the phone like this and you're talking on this mic, the common mode is rejected, but your voice is not because it's louder. So any decent broadcast or audio engineer knows that if they're working with somebody in the field and there's a noisy environment and they don't have a wireless mic, they can take two microphones that are identical, the same type, and literally put one this way and tape them together. It looks ugly, but who cares? And you just wire both of them and you bring the cables back, to the ENG truck, and you reverse. You flip the polarity, the phase on one of them, and you move the fader until you cancel the common mode noise, and then what you hear is the announcer's voice. Everybody knows this. So all these phones have multiple microphone arrays, at least two. So what apps like Prism do is they realize that the audio is flipped internally, so they compensate for it. So you have actual true stereo. It's great. Right now what you hear is mono from the wireless mic, but if I do this, external mic is disconnected. Watch. Listen in headphones. You're going to hear it in stereo. Now I'm going to plug this back in. Now we're back in mono. Periscope didn't even do that. That's a lazy program. They had an opportunity. When we found out that the Periscope codec was stereo and they weren't using it for stereo, we're like, what's wrong with these people? But then they released oh, sorry. I'm at the bottom of these wasabi cashew peanuts. I just got a handful of salt and wasabi and my nose is burning. They released the API for Periscope Producer, where you could use your own encoder. And suddenly people were using, OBS or Streamlabs or others, and lo and behold, wow, everybody's broadcasting in stereo. And a lot of us, like me, who are a little more, towards the audio engineering side, we were kind of pissed off. Because I had done, I don't know, dozens and dozens of music scopes where I fed the phone with the TRRS plug. And I actually balanced the audio. I did a lot of recordings to get the level right. And people would actually ask me, do you hear what we're hearing? It sounds fantastic on Periscope. Yeah, it sounded fantastic in 2016, but today it would sound bad. Today, I can use my Zoom portable recorder, and I can broadcast in 4-channel spatial audio, and you'll hear it as surround sound with Prism, because Prism supports USB audio. So the question is, I never thought I would say this, when is Heckle going to get into the 21st century? And I understand this is a private, thing that Simon's doing, and he doesn't probably have a lot of money to put into it. And for those of you who are married, you'll understand what I'm saying. If he's married, yeah, okay. It's not like the guy that can tear an engine down in his living room and nobody cares. So, unless he's separately, independently financed, it's going to be slow going. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But Heckle has a lot of potential because the actual video looks great. It's just that the interface, trying to play back stuff, is horrendous. Dave and I were talking about it today. Dave likes to watch my replays. Thank you, but I don't know why, but thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, you use the little slider and you try to look for something. It just takes all day. It takes all day to load. And if you listen to that 12-string thing that I did, right? I'm using this wireless mic, fed directly into the phone, and it still sounds muffled, and people describe it as sounding like it's underwater, and that's probably not an inaccurate description because there's kind of a warbling effect, and what that is, it's an algorithm that's designed to try to sorry, I'm trying to lift up my selfie stick. They're trying to noise cancel, but I've already explained to you the proper way of hardware noise cancellation, and the only way that you can do that properly is to have two microphones and flip them, right? Oh, this is interesting. Oh, wow. I'm gonna try something here. Hold on. Okay. Hang on, don't go anywhere. For some reason, the gimbal decided that Wow. The left and right buttons aren't moving. This is crazy. Uh-oh. I hope my gimbal didn't just die on me. This is crazy. All right, it's weird. All right, anyway. So yeah, the proper way of doing that is with, you know, hardware and flipping the polarity, right? So you guys have seen those little microphones that have a little T-shaped dongle that fits into the phone, either Lightning or USB-C, and there's two little tiny mics. They're kind of cute. They got a clip and they've got, you know, a head on it with a windscreen. Oh, great sounding mics. And there's two of them. They sound like terrible. They sound terrible. They sound like crap. Trust me, I know, because I bought a set of them. And I did some tests with Dave, and they sound horrible because they use a crappy noise reduction algorithm. We don't need the noise reduction algorithm. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need the noise reduction, okay? Because if it's too noisy in the environment, they shouldn't be live streaming. They should know what they're doing, and people will tell them. But you cannot reduce that. What they're trying to do is isolate the vocal frequencies, accentuate them, and pull everything else down. And so what you end up with is a very mid-rangey thing. But because it's always chasing the frequencies, you get this warbling effect as it's doing this all the time, right? It's chasing noisy frequencies. It's looking for peaks that are high, like the cars, the squeaky brakes. So it's going to find that and notch it. So that's why it sounds like it's going like this all the time. It's warbling. So it just doesn't work. Don't do it. But nobody listens to me. Done with my rant. I'm just wondering why my gimbal's not working. I'm gonna have to reset this because I also notice I can't change any modes. Wow, the whole thing's not functioning. I gotta reset this puppy. If you do a 3 trigger pull, this locks it into like, this is supposed to be like quick motion, and this is supposed to be like lock, and that works. But if I pop it twice, if I move it around, if I pop it twice, it's supposed to recenter. Then if I pop it 3 times, it's supposed to flip around and, you know, do a 180. So I don't know what's going on. Yes, it is. But I notice when the selfie stick is fully extended, this iPhone 14 Pro Max is like a small brick. You know, it might as well be made out of solid gold. It's a hunk of metal. I think I measured it. I think it's 260 grams. The thing has a 300 gram limit. So 60 grams, you know, is quite a bit, but yeah, I don't know why it's not acting the way it's supposed to act. I used it a little while ago, and it was fine. Earlier on in the broadcast, it was fine. The second I make it go up and down, and you guys saw me doing the left and right, it's not doing left and right now. And all I did was I raised the selfie stick. Now let me do this. I'm going to push the selfie stick down. Ready? Okay. No difference. So it doesn't matter. The thing about it is it doesn't really have a way to easily grip it. You know, for pulling the selfie stick, and I think it might actually put a little bit more strain on the design than it was intended to do. So, hey, if there's any friends on Africa TV, Hangul Salam Ishumnika, any Koreans, Hangul Nida, and then we'll see if they answer. So, Nanun Michael Imnida. So, see if they answer us. But I had my Leo beer, and doing pretty good. By the way, I got my Apple Watch, and one of the complications that I have for it is this, because of the noisy environment that I'm in. And believe it or not, it tells me, look at this. I mean, this makes total sense for me. I gotta tell you, baby, when I go in these karaoke's, I went into a Filipino karaoke the other night, and this thing pegged like about 98. Inside, I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding. When I'm mixing at my mixing position in my studio, I glanced at my watch because I want to make sure that I'm not doing something stupid. When I was young, in my 30s, we were mixing on the Yamaha NS10s, and there have been many YouTube videos about why people mix on Yamaha NS10s. And I kind of wish I had a pair of them now, because I'm using the Atom T8Vs, which I love. They're extremely full range, and they're amazing. However, I will say that the NS10s force you to be a better engineer, because if you can make, they're crappy speakers, so if you can make your mix sound good on them, they sound amazing on everything else. But here's the problem. I had a dB meter, and I never really used it. But one afternoon, I was in the studio mixing, and I put the dB meter, laid it down on the console. This would have been about 1987 maybe. I laid it down on the recording console in front of me, and that thing was telling me that I was mixing at about 118 to 120 dB, and that is just, oh. And so even right now, I have my Flare Audio Comers in. These are little waveguides that fit in your ears. And what they do is they reduce those annoying high frequencies. My daughter wears these all the time. Like those brakes that you just heard from that scooter, because people here don't do maintenance. I took that Comer out to show that to you, and that squeak hurt my ears, but it didn't hurt the ear that the Comer is still in. Flare Audio, F-L-A-R-E. If you look at Flare Audio's website, this is their Flare. In here I have a set of Comers that are made for sleep, and I have another kind of earplug that they just came out with. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it. But it's a memory foam earplug. Now check this out. The plug itself is titanium. That's machined titanium. And you can see the shape of this. And this is memory foam. So you basically roll it like this and put it in your ear, and it conforms to your ear, and it's absolutely amazing. These things are about $40, and they're worth every single penny. And the Comers that I have for sleep, which I don't use very often, but they're these, and I got the white ones. The reason these are for sleep is because they're very, very flexible. They're very soft, super soft plastic. And they can fit in your ear. See, and the little tab you use to pull them out, it's so soft you don't even notice it. You know, it just, yeah. So you put them in your ears at night, and you can still hear. You know, there's a fire alarm, or your husband or wife is calling you, or your kids calling you, or something. Dogs barking, you know, phones ringing. You can hear it. It's just that the annoying sounds and the real sharp resonances that we have in our society don't bother you. So I'm wearing these Comers right now. But back then we didn't have any of those. But just sitting here, I mean, it's 83 dB with these you know, these scooters going by, and I'm sitting here using this, you know, this broadcast. What do you call it? The monitor here in Prism. And I can see that, like, the audio is just pegging. And I have my microphone set on the lowest setting. So it can be just destructively loud. You have to be careful. Anyway, believe it or not, that was my wife that walked by a few minutes ago. I don't know if you saw her. I waved to her. She waved back. I don't know if you saw her. My wife doesn't like to be on camera, but my wife's amazing. Dave has actually met her. My wife is what I like to call a sleeper. She's very quiet, very reserved, and you first look at her and you go, wow. Kind of a ordinary, nondescript person, but when you hang out with her after a while, you realize, wow, this is a really nice lady and nice looking. The name of the company is Flare, Flare. And these little devices that I have in my ears are called calmers, Calmers, just like, from the word calm, like calm down, calmers. And what doctors have been finding is that because it's a waveguide and it redirects the way the audio goes into the ear canal, it can cancel out those annoying peaky frequencies. So now many autistic children are able to sit in classrooms and tolerate it. Because, they're easily overwhelmed with input, especially sound input. Now, my daughter Phoenix wears these calmers every day. I bought them for her 3 years ago. She's 10 now. I bought them for her when she was 7 years old. She's only lost one in that whole time. She's a very responsible young kid. I recently bought her 3 pairs. The last time I bought her, she lost the one. I bought her 3 pairs. She gave 1 pair to a classmate who was complaining about the noise in the classroom, and within 2 days she lost hers. But my daughter's had hers, and they come in some really cool kid colors, like bright blue, bright red, bright yellow. And these little canisters that they have, right? They make small ones and make large ones, but these are actually machined aluminum. This is amazing. It's machined aluminum with an O-ring sealer, so they're waterproof. This is quite a big one, you can see. But they make small ones just for the calmers, but they make them in like gold, rose gold, silver, black, red, yellow, and blue, many colors. So if you go to Flare, Flare audio. By the way, Dave, if you're thinking about buying some of that stuff, contact me personally. I have a discount code that I'll give you. Because I bought so much stuff from them, and I do have an ongoing, they know that I'm a mixing engineer and I use their stuff, and I give them reviews, from that viewpoint. But yeah, they make another earplug called an Isolate. I don't carry them with me. The Isolates don't work for me because they're too small. The head on the tip is too small for my ear canals. I don't know why. I think they're too big. The last time I went to the ear doctor to get my earwax cleaned, he explained to my wife that the internal construction of my ear canals is not usual. It's not that it's not normal, it's just not usual. I go, oh really? And he explained to my wife that I have like an S kind of twist or something there, a slight, like a deviation. It's not straight. And I said, oh, well, that might be the principle that the calmers work on. That might be why I can hear, music and discern it so well. And he said, yeah, that might be it, because everybody's different, right? So I thought that was interesting. So when they checked my earwax, because I have an earwax buildup from working in the studio, and they have to use the tube and everything to suck it out. It's disgusting and it hurts and it's loud and I don't like it. But he always has to look twice, because he looks the first time and he doesn't see anything. Then he uses the little funnel looking thing and looks in there, and he has to kind of look down and around and says, oh yeah, now I see it, okay, now I'll get it out, because it's kind of around the hook, around the bend or something. I don't know. I never looked in there, so. in Taiwan on Shopee. Yeah, you can buy an earwax scraper. It's made out of soft rubber that has a USB camera on it. So you can plug it into your phone, look at the camera on your phone, and it has an LED light, and it lights up your ear canal, and you can look at the earwax and you can scrape it out. I'm like, wow, maybe I should get one of those. But I gotta tell you, it would probably freak me out looking at my own eardrum. So, really, I would love, listen, I'm gonna contact you about that privately. I would love to, if you could show me some, like, maybe it sounds kind of weird, but I mean, I'd like to see what it looks like. You show me some, you know, like what you see on the screen, if that's not too weird. At least it's not a colonoscope. But yeah, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. I would love to see that. And I wonder if it's worthwhile. Because I don't like going to the ear doctor to get my ears cleaned of wax. Because what I do is he comes at me with this tube. It's a stainless steel tube. And it's like 15 or 16 centimeters long, right? Yeah, it is gross. I'm sure it is. I understand that. Yeah. I know I would. I would, because it's one of those things, Dave, where it's disgusting, but I can't stop looking at it. Like when I posted the picture on my blog, when the surgeon cut my thumb open to take that growth out, you know, and he had the retractors and you could see the nerves and everything. I posted on my blog, and one of my followers on my blog said that photo is absolutely disgusting, but I can't stop looking at it, and that's kind of how it is. But the doctor comes at me with this tube, and it's, you know, 6 inches long, and he's holding it from the back. So he's got like 5.5 inches sticking out front. I was like, don't you want to choke up on that a little bit, you know? So I even said to him, I said, I don't like this because one slip and you could puncture my eardrum, or it could be permanent hearing damage. And he just looked at me casually and went, yeah, that's right. Oh, okay, well, thanks for making me feel better. So what I do is, when I go to the doctor, I say, wait. I plant my head against the headrest on the seat, and I purposely push back on the headrest hard with my head to kind of hold it. I mean, not ridiculously hard, but you know what I'm saying. I put some firm pressure, and then I'm like, okay, and I'm saying to myself, don't move, no matter what he does, no matter what happens, no matter how much it hurts, no matter what he does, no matter what happens, no matter how much it hurts, don't move. And invariably I hear, you know, this is disgusting. That's what I hear, right? Oh, and it's just that loud. It's disgusting, and it hurts like crazy. And I'm like, don't move, because the only thing I got to do is slightly move my head toward him by mistake, even by turning it, not even like moving my neck, just turning my head towards him the wrong way, and goes through the eardrum. Listen, lady, looking at me doesn't do any good. Wow, the smells here tonight. The duck truck is amazing. The duck truck and the hamburger truck and all this, the smell is all wafting around. So anyway, I got to get out of here. I've been on the air 50 minutes. Thank you for your time and your patience. And to me, still, Prism Live Studio with Facebook and YouTube and Africa TV still rules. But I am going to go on Heckle once in a while. Hope you guys don't mind. Take care. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Joey. Take care, bro. Thank you, Dave. And we'll see you guys probably on Thursday. Bye-bye.